Hey, everybody, how you doing? No, I'm still not over last night. Welcome to PHLY Flyers. Yeah, just regular show. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I am your director of something today. Joining me live in the Xfinity studio, it is Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. What's going on today, Hinks?
I feel strongly that when it's just you and I, it's still fun and games, regardless of circumstance.
That's fair.
We're having fun here.
I think I agree. I just, the game was like 14 hours ago. It ended. Still mad.
The first 20 minutes of post game were like all time.
They're
really good.
Like from a strictly professional level, they have no idea how badly they screwed me last night. I get why all the journalists get mad when a game like goes to overtime with like a last second goalie pull or something. I had so much stuff. I had the whole instant reactions written. I was ready to go. Notion was filled out. I never do that early for Brenna.
Oh, you jinxed it.
I've been doing it early and having good luck. Last night, really, really bad luck. We're going to get into all that. We're also going to give away 5 more general admission pairs of tickets to the Flyers Charities Carnival, but you got to wait till the very end of that after we get real good and mad about the team, then we're going to go celebrate them. No, listen, even when we're mad at the team, the Flyers Charities Carnival is cool.
It's the best.
You get to just be around a bunch of Flyers fans. You get to meet and greet the team. There's a freaking Ferris wheel. I'll be in the dunk tank. Like, it's just cool. So
you can play
sometimes you have to separate the two.
Pong.
But it's really cool. It's your chance to interact with the team, and it's a special event, and they've been doing it a long time. It's a cool tradition. We can separate the two, I think.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I feel like the last few years heading into the carnival, the team has made us like extra mad. And then we get there and we're like, oh man, I still like these idiots.
Yeah, no, like as soon as you get there, because it's such a good vibe.
The vibe is outstanding. Yeah,
but we're not going to talk about the good vibes right now.
No, there are.
But the carnival, good vibes. We're going to talk about the Ace Hardware Home Services temperature check. Let's take a look at who is heating up or cooling off with our Ace Hardware temp check. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. You know who's heating up? Me.
Guess what? It's you.
I'm legitimately mad at the team. Yeah. And honestly, like, you do this job for a while, you start to I am a fan, but does it really affect me? Like, okay, content, they blew a big lead. At least there's something to talk. No. If they had just won 4-0, I would just be in a better mood today.
Yeah.
I would be in a much better mood. I am heating up. Like, watching that game last night, I was just saying to Hinkle before we started. I did not think like a mid-January game against a Western Conference team would change my outlook of the entire season.
Guess what?
But it certainly has.
Yeah.
Last night was, to me, an incredibly important game. You end the losing streak with a good win in Vegas. You got outplayed, but you found a way to grind it out. Really strong performances from TK. You're, scoring leader for the last few years, and he's creeping up on Zegras now.
Ersson
didn't suck. He was in fact very good. And then you go to Utah, and it's all right.
Keep it
Get
rolling.
2 points, and guess what? Winning road trip. The losing streak is behind you. Now all you got to do is not go just like get killed by Colorado. Like, I didn't expect them to win, but hey man, last time they played him, they lose 3-2 and Ersson wasn't bad. Like, maybe you have a similar game and we're feeling good when they come back home. Very, very important. And guess what? 2-0 lead in the first, 3-0, less than 21 minutes into the game. And somehow they lose 5-4 in overtime with just the most ridiculous set of circumstances. Like the awesome save against Zegras. All right, sometimes goalies make saves. Owen Tippett rings one off the post. It'd be nice if he put it in, but I guess that happens. And then Garnet Hathaway just doesn't even shoot on the open net. He gets his pocket picked.
I have to ask you, because I was thinking about this. You and I have been watching this stupid team for a very long time. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like that. I've seen them miss open nets, which is its own kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a guy just be like, I'm just gonna wait.
Michkov last year
on the open net.
Remember Mish last year? We were like celebrating the hat trick, and then suddenly play was at the other end.
Right, yeah.
And we were looking at each other like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And I think he hit both posts. I guess that's close. But this was just like, and like me and Petey were looking at it and we're like, he's trying to get the puck to calm down. I guess it's rolling a little. It's Garnet Hathaway. It's not exactly Trevor Zegras. But you got one goal on the year. Maybe you're just trying to make sure you get it. You don't want to miss and be a laughing stock. But this is worse.
That's too many thoughts.
If he had turned around and fired it the other way, it would have been less ridiculous than what happened.
That is correct, yes.
At least that would have killed some time. I am like actually upset about what we saw last night. And you look at the standings now, and they're, I mean, like in the mix, but like, you know, who's having a disappointing year? The Maple Leafs. Well, they're ahead of the Flyers. Somehow Pittsburgh is still doing it. The Islanders, I guess it makes sense. They have like the best 18-year-old defenseman ever. And then like, oh yeah, Jersey, they're like the biggest disappointment in the NHL. And we're a point up on them. How about that? Like, I just, it's getting ugly, and it's getting to the point of they're going to be in it because that's what the East is.
Right.
But I don't actually believe in them anymore.
Right,
and
right.
It happened in the span of 2 weeks.
I feel like we talked about this last show that like, I don't think the Flyers are in it because the Flyers are good. The Flyers are in it just because everyone else kind of stinks. And it's just like the way the East is falling, they're going to keep being in it. And they're probably going to end up right outside picking 14th, and everyone's going to lose their minds.
And like you look at it, there's starting to become a little bit of separation, I guess, at least with the Rangers. The good news for the Flyers, I suppose, is the Caps lost last night. But like, if it comes down to that, like, oh yeah, Washington and Jersey just never got it together. Like, is that why you want to make it? And I realize that's part of why the East is what it is. But it just felt different a couple weeks ago when it was like they were playing well. Like, okay, the power play is no good. Penalty kill's struggling, but it's not like bad. Now it's like actively bad. I don't want to say heartbroken, because that's like when Patrick Kane scores in 2010, that's heartbreaking.
You have to have more expectation and hope in order to be heartbroken.
I feel taken. I decided I was going to say, you know what? They're going to try to make the playoffs. They're going to try to turn this thing around and be good. And I'm going to support that because that's the plan. And they failed.
We have been
failed and
bamboozled,
100,
led astray.
Absolutely. That is how I feel right now. And like it leads to like you look at the schedule going into the Olympics, and like, all right, they got to go to Colorado. And listen, like I said to Petey last night, if they pull off an upset equivalent to, I don't know, the 1980 U.S. over Russia game,
sure,
I suppose it'll be a big party. Like, oh, you know what? We beat Vegas. We beat Colorado. We got a point in Utah. Pretty good trip. But that seems wildly unlikely.
Maybe Colorado will decide that like Nathan McKinnon needs a little rest.
I just won't play. Colorado, in terms of like the kind of season they're having,
have they lost more than 5 games yet? I don't know. If they have.
They're like kind of struggling. Like for them, they're struggling. They lost, I think, in a shootout to the Ducks last night. They lost to Nashville a couple of games ago. They lost to Toronto in overtime.
Oh,
they lost now. Like at the beginning of the month, they lost back-to-backs at Florida and at Tampa. So like they're what 3-2 in their last 8 games?
Garbage.
I guess in terms of when you're getting Colorado, this is the for them the best possible time. But then you look at the schedule, like after that, you come back home and like the Islanders ahead of you in the standings.
Yep.
You're fighting off the Blue Jackets. The Bruins, a lot better than you think. The Kings, considerably better than the Flyers. The Caps, you're fighting them off in the standings. Ottawa, they have really struggled, but like I can't put anything past the freaking Flyers at this point. Yep. You know, they scored 29 seconds into a game against the Sens and then got shut out for the next 59 minutes and 31 seconds.
Scoring the first goal is never a good idea for them. They got to stop doing that.
So ridiculously bad when they score the first goal. Like, I know the record might be all right, but it's like then they had to come back again.
Right.
Even if they did win the game, it's not because they led the whole way.
Never.
So the temperature check is me. I feel like I have a fever.
He's hot, folks.
I have a fever, and the only prescription is the Olympic break. I need, like, me and this team need some time away from each other.
It's true.
And based on that schedule, we're not getting it. All right, on the other side, we're going to open up the mailbag. We're going to talk about some Rasmus Ristolainen stuff I read this week. And we're going to try to have some fun, but, you know, I'm mad. But first, we got to take that break. All right, everybody, listen up. I got to tell you how I start my day each and every morning. I start at my Wawa. Now, this might be an ad read, but I think everyone watching right now has to know how much I love Wawa. And now, Wawa's giving us yet another reason to love them. It's the $5 Big Breakfast Deal. For just $5, you can get any Sizzly breakfast sandwich, any size hot or iced coffee, plus a hash brown every morning from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's right, a breakfast Sizzly, a coffee, and a hash brown for just $5 from your local Wawa. That's value, that's convenience, and that's deliciousness all together in one deal. And while you're picking up your coffee, check out the brand new Caramel Chocolate Craze coffee flavors. You can try caramel, you can try chocolate, or you can mix both together for a sweet treat that will start your morning off right. The $5 Big Breakfast Deals for a limited time and exclusions apply. See Wawa.com for details. No need to overthink breakfast. Just grab, go, and get on your day with Wawa. Gotta have a Wawa. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You know, Bet365 has over 90 million users worldwide. They live stream almost 800,000 events each year. And today, Bet365 offers the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 different sports. And with the Bet365 NHL early payout offer, you're a winner. If your team gains a 3-goal lead, you get an instant payout on straight bets, and your parlay selections are marked as winners. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, and we have breaking news from our friends at Bet365. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, win or lose. All you gotta do, sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older and in PA. If you or someone who has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, and what we were just talking about leads me to our first mailbag question today, and it is from MST. They ask, how much of our consternation over the last 10 days might be attributed to the fact that this Olympic schedule is insane and most every team is going through stretches like this?
Here's the thing, though. I don't care about the other teams.
And I was willing, this question, as you see, is from a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So I was willing to say, you know what? Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, because every team has gone through slumps this year.
Sure.
If they have, you know, an 0-6-1 stretch or 0-5-1, whatever it was, okay. But then you have to right the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the Vegas game was the turning point. The first, honestly, 52 minutes outside of like that little stretch where they were just running around like insane people in the middle of the second. Okay, we've turned it around. We've kind of got it figured out. And now I don't feel that way whatsoever. Like I was willing to kind of write it off as that. And now it's, no, there's bigger issues. It's not just the goaltending. It's not just the special teams. There's just something about this team. They can't figure out how to put away games. And you go back to that Toronto game. I realize it's a 1-0 lead, and that's a really, really tenuous situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to win 1-0 though. Like sometimes that's what the game calls for, and they weren't able to do that either. And they do it in ridiculous fashion, surrendering a shorthanded goal, like to force overtime. Last night's game changed my outlook, and maybe I shouldn't let 1 out of 82, but it was just the building towards it.
It was also just it could have been the worst loss of the season. Like just the way that they lost that game.
Yes.
Is enough to really, I think, color your perception of what we actually got going on here.
That Ducks game feels like a year
100 years ago. And like, I don't want to redo post game, but you and PD talked a lot, or you talked a bit about the way they were letting players get through the neutral zone in the third period.
My God.
I feel like we've talked a lot in post games about what I refer to, because I started watching hockey in the 90s, as turtling. The way that they kind of just back off once they get a lead. And it's not so much that they're like clogging up the neutral zone or playing a trap game or really trying to shut down the offense. They just start backing in all the time.
If they had turned back the clock to 1996 in the neutral zone last night, I would have stood in my living room and applauded.
No, that's like
they did the opposite. They decided to play men's league hockey in the neutral zone. Like, we'll just like wait at the top of the circles for them.
And like, obviously, and I'm going to talk about Rick Tocchet. Obviously, I don't think that Rick Tocchet is saying, hey guys, let the team skate unopposed into your zone every time they have the puck. Like, I don't think that's how he's coaching them to do it.
It would be surprising.
However, I do think that they play that way with a lead late in the game so often that there must be something. Some strategy that they're supposed to be employing, obviously poorly because it's not working most of the time, that I don't quite understand the point of.
Do you remember, and it's a classic moment in Flyers history, even though it's Senators history, when they're in the back of the Uber or the taxi or whatever, and they're like looking at the penalty kill rankings, and they're saying how bad their PK is, and there's only one team worse, and it's the Flyers, saying LaPerriere. And they're talking about like what the coaches have been telling them to do on the penalty kill and how dumb it is. Like, yeah, just like sit there and wait. Like, and they're like, so I'm supposed to just be like flat-footed, and they're like bombing up for, you know, an entry with speed, and like talking about how stupid the strategy is. I don't know if that's what the Flyers are supposed to be doing.
Right.
But it is what they're doing, especially late in games with leads. Like, it's incredibly frustrating because it's, all right, yeah, we got the red line. They now have to go the length of the ice. We dumped it. We got the change. Cool. What's the point of that if like it's not even any work for the first 150 of the 200 feet that there is no resistance?
Yes. Yeah.
None. It's just very frustrating. All right. We are going to change gears a second. We'll get back to the mailbag. Charlie is also going to join us from the road on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line in a little bit. But I read this Anthony DeMarco piece on Daily Faceoff the other day that we haven't had a chance to get to. I believe it was from the 20th. And there's a few things in there, and maybe we'll get to more of it later. But I want to focus on the Ristolainen piece for a minute. There's just this one paragraph. It says, Ristolainen's absence in recent games has once again shown the team his importance on their second and third pair, according to team sources. By the sound of it, Ristolainen will really need to be pulled out of Philadelphia with a big offer more than ever. Now, if this is simply, you know, the front office working the league through the media, I like it. That's great. That's a great negotiation tactic. Yep.
Yeah.
And eventually they got their price.
Yeah.
Perhaps that is what they're doing. I am going to believe it is because I think Danny Briere overall doing a pretty good job. Could be doing better. Could be doing a whole lot worse.
That's absolutely fair.
But the idea that he makes the team better is asinine. And I'm not even talking about the kind of player he is or how good or bad he is or isn't. Like, he's a pretty decent defenseman. I agree. But he never plays.
Yeah. That's a problem.
This is Risto's 5th year in Philadelphia. He has played 70-plus games one time. In his 5 years here, he has missed 16, 8, 51, 19, and now this year, 36 games and counting.
He's day-to-day, so it's fine.
Yeah, he's day-to-day on IR. He was a game-time decision. Then he missed a week. Then he got put on. Who knows? Maybe he lost a limb. I have no idea. Yeah. It's day-to-day. He's missing a hand. They're working on a Luke Skywalker sort of thing. Maybe he'll be back for, you know, the playoff Risto. Risto's 31 years old. He's if he ever comes back, he's nearing 800 games. None of them, in the playoffs. He has 3 assists in 13 games this season, no goals. He's under contract for 1 more year at $5.1 million, and he will hit unrestricted free agency a few months before he turns 33. This should be very simple.
Very.
Get anything you can. I realize we want the big return, and I like the idea of stockpiling assets so we can one day go out and get all the things we need. A 1C, a 1D. They need all that stuff, and you need ammo to do it. But this guy never plays, and I just don't see why a team trying to make the playoffs would trade a whole lot of stuff for a guy who's going to be questionable.
Yeah.
Questionable at best.
Thomas Williams from BroadStreetHockey.com was talking about it today in our Slack chat. Like, the Leafs right now are having a huge problem with their defense. I think a couple of guys are injured, and just overall, they've not been very good.
Yeah, like Morgan Rielly stinks now.
Yeah. Imagine if Rasmus Ristolainen was healthy and available to be traded to the idiots up in Toronto who would friggin' love him.
Like, I think Ekman Larsson is their best defenseman this year.
Yeah.
Like, he's
so
40.
It's just very frustrating that he can't stay healthy. And, like, honestly, if you think that he makes the defense better, like, in my mind, that's more of like an indictment of the defense than him, like, appraising him as a player. Like, he might make the defense better because it's kind of crappy when he's not in, because you're relying on Noah Juulsen.
Yeah, like, because the alternative is Noah Juulsen.
Right.
Like, that's what we then have to do. And, like, Emil Andre, as I suppose a developing player, has his ups and downs, or maybe he's just not very good. I don't know yet. But I'm starting to think the latter. Who knows? Maybe he figures it out. Maybe. But, like, yeah, he makes the defense better when he's in. He's played 13 games this year. That's not many. Yeah, he's played 49.
Too small a sample size.
Like, and he's not going to just miss 36. No. Like, this article later says, like, I think they expect him back for the before the Olympic break. Great. Maybe he'll get to 20 games played this season. Like, what am I expecting him not to get hurt again? He gets hurt every single year. I just... Again, this could just be a negotiation tactic, and that's what they should do. Be like, oh, well, we like him. We might be keeping him. But if you actually think that, please reconsider. I'm begging you.
I do worry because, as we know, Keith Jones is a big part of, what happens here.
Yes.
Love Keith Jones. However,
he does seem to love Rasmus Ristolainen.
He loves Rasmus Ristolainen, and I do worry that there probably is a prevailing opinion in the front office that he is actually good and very, very valuable because large, and they won't get rid of him because they think that they can't lose that presence on the blue line.
I very much agree. The fight aside, because me and Petey were like, you kind of got to do it, even though it's not great. You're going to take a penalty. The team really just needs to kill that penalty. That's more than anything.
I'm saying.
Like, kill the penalty.
Yeah, do that.
It's not like you're up against.
You've never done that before.
It's not like you're up against the Edmonton power play here.
Right.
Like, it's
kill a penalty.
Kill the penalty, and they were unable to. But Noah Juulsen, regardless of how good he is or isn't, is not part of this team's future. He's barely part of their present.
Yeah.
Hunter McDonald is with them. If a large physical boy is like what is so important that we need to hold on to Ristolainen, maybe see.
Yeah, let's see
Hunter McDonald probably isn't ready.
No.
But, like, you know who else isn't? Rasmus Ristolainen, because he's never ready because he can't stay healthy. Like, just find out, see how it goes. Give him a couple of games. I just, frustrating. And again, probably frustrating. So frustrating. Like, it's probably just like this is what you do with the media leading up to the trade deadline.
I would like to believe it is because he's done it before.
But, like, he is still here. Well,
I can't trade him now, William.
Yeah, well, yeah, who's gonna take him? He's constantly hurt.
Dead.
And that's why I'm saying, like, yeah, it'd be cool to get a big haul, and if it tricks some team, way to go, Danny. But honestly, get whatever the hell you can.
Yeah.
Why are we spending $5 million on a guy who doesn't play? Curious. It's so curious.
It is curious.
All right. Let's get at least another question or two in before Charlie joins us at the bottom of the hour. Let's go to Nick Hankins. Hey, speaking of the defense, Nick Hankins says, can we win with the D core and D prospects we have now, or how much of an overhaul do we need to be cup contenders? So I broke this down into a couple of different categories. Current core to me is Sanheim, York, and Drysdale, with the idea that Sealer is here probably for the extent of his contract, and as a third pair or extra, I have no problem with Sealer. He'll be 33 in June. He's here for 2 more years, and with the rising cap, pretty freaking cheap, sub $3 million.
Yes.
I don't know if he's like part of the core, but I'm fine with him being a third pair, 7th guy, whatever he turns into until he's like 35 or 36 years old. That's fine with me. Then there are the trade pieces and maybe not the core. Risto, Andre, Grans, Yinning. Maybe Andre works his way into the core. I'm not there.
Yeah, I was there, but I'm starting to doubt that.
Grans, like, I don't know. He doesn't seem to be like
he seems like
progressing.
A dude. Yeah.
He's just kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Yinning, we know what they think of him. It's not.
I've had about enough of him.
It's not high.
No.
And then Ristolainen, maybe he's like the future captain. I don't know, but
probably.
But
we're gonna give him $12 million when he hits the market.
I gotta believe he's a trade piece. Then you look at the prospects. Oliver Bonk, Hunter McDonald, Spencer Gill. He's currently injured in the queue. He's only played 2 games this year, but I think people are impressed with him in camp. Ty Murchison, who looked like a decent player when he got his little cup of coffee. And Carter Amico, who just recently left BU to go back to the USHL. Not a great draft plus 1 year for Carter Amico, but maybe it's a little bit of a longer-term thing. And then there's one guy, I just don't know what to make of Christian Kyrou because he's like young. And his first like 12 or 13 games with the Phantoms, he was a point-a-game player. And people were like, hey, our power play stinks. Maybe give him a look. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist, I think, in his last 17 games.
Matty doesn't seem super high on him.
Doesn't seem like he's anything, but maybe he's just a decent, guy for the AHL, But these are the pieces. These are the current core: Sanheim, York, Drysdale, with Sealer as like a little outlier. Then the prospects. To me, I look at all this and think they don't need like an overhaul. They just need that guy. They just need the one guy to put everyone in line with where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. Yeah, Sanheim, York, you know what they are? Not number ones. No. They can play a lot of minutes. They're pretty good. If that's your second pair, hell yeah. If one of them's on your top pair with like a legit stud and the other one's anchoring your second pair, great. Bonk fits in somewhere. You find places for the others. You use all the other guys to like, get the dude you need. It's not an overhaul. It's just like they're missing that guy on the blue line.
See, I've been convincing myself for the last number of years that they don't need like a certified number 1 cookie cutter top pair, like shut down, Chris Pronger defenseman, because there aren't that many of them, right? It's hard to get those. I say that a lot about stuff.
You might not need a Norris guy, like a guy who's going to get B top 10 in Norris voting every year.
Yeah.
You do need someone who can do stuff that they just don't do.
I've been hoping they would be able to cobble together a defense that by committee could be good enough.
3 second pairs,
Right, yeah, that would be fine. I really don't know at this point what to make of any of these prospects. I don't think any of them have been shining stars at any. I mean, obviously Bonk was when he was in junior, but that's because he was on a powerhouse team.
Yeah, he was on an all-star team and he's playing the bumper on the power play.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's oh, well, is that going to translate? Oh, what's the power play going to get worse? Maybe give it a shot. But probably a defenseman not going to be playing the center of the ice on an NHL power play.
I don't know. I feel like I can say with confidence, we don't have that guy.
I doubt it.
In any of these kids. So if that's a guy that you need to get, then you still need to get him. And I don't know how you do that, because even let's say they lose out and we're picking top 10 again. And you draft, this year's best defenseman in the draft. That's still 4 or 5 years away from being the dude.
Defensemen tend to take a
long time. So I don't even know if you can go that route to get him.
It does seem and we'll get into this maybe a little later. So man, they seem to recognize how difficult all this is going to be, but they don't really seem we just got to wait and see. This is we got to be patient and just wait. When? Yeah. I know, and that's an unfair thing to ask, but at a certain point, I don't know, man, there hasn't been a home playoff game since 2018.
Yeah.
We haven't been cup contenders since, I guess you want to say 2012, maybe.
I guess you could say that.
I guess 2011.
Maybe
they were in line to win the President's Trophy until the last month of the season, and then everyone hated each other. It all fell apart.
Right.
Pronger's injured, but 2011, 2012, around there is the last time they were
relevant,
considered a really good team. I know I got to be patient, but I don't want to be. That's really what it's getting.
And also, like, you guys decided to bring me Matvei Michkov 3 years before you thought you were going to.
Yeah.
You accelerated the timeline by doing that. Like, let's not pretend that wasn't a thing that happened in all of our minds. Instantly, you're like, ooh, it might happen sooner than we thought it would. And now you're playing him 10 minutes a game, and he doesn't look great, but no one seems to be, like, fostering an environment in which he could get better. They're just kind of like, figure it out, kid. And until you do, you're playing 10 minutes a night, which I don't know, doesn't seem like the best way to do it.
He was pretty economical last night. I mean, 7 shots on goal in 11 minutes.
He looked good last night, but he didn't get any more minutes out of it.
He blew by a defenseman last night. Like, he's coming down the right wing side with the puck, and the dude just gets caught flat-footed. And I was like, that is the first time this season I've seen him skate by somebody.
Yeah.
Like, he looked good, and then it was just, well, maybe it's not the game for him, you know?
Put the fourth line out in the final 5 minutes of the game. That's what's important.
All right. We will, on the other side, have Charlie O'Connor joining us on the Xfinity mobile call-in line, but we got to take our second break. All right, everybody, I've got to tell you about a local business that's been helping Philly homeowners and businesses stay pest-free. We're talking about Evans Pest Control. That's right, because this isn't some giant national chain. They're a family-owned, community-focused pest control company right here in the Philadelphia area, and they've been earning the trust of our neighborhoods for years. Evans Pest Control uses state-of-the-art equipment, safe and effective treatment options, and their techs go through continuous training so they're equipped to handle anything and everything. We're talking rodents, insects, termites, and even bed bugs. And they offer priority services and consultations, which is huge when you have a problem with pests. Right now, it's that time of year. Maybe it's a little cold and you're not thinking about pest control, but you want to stay on top of this. That's why you got to call Evans Pest. So if you see signs of pests or just want to prevent them before they start, reach out to Evans Pest Control. Visit evanspestmgmt.com to schedule your free consultation. That's Evans Pest Control at evanspestmgmt.com. So we just had a conversation right here in the PHLY office about how those of us in our mid-30s are beginning to feel our age. I'm 37, and suddenly the diet I've maintained and the little bit of cardio I do are harder than ever. You start thinking, what's wrong with me? I'm not that old. How has my lifestyle turned on me? But the science behind it actually makes sense. Most men start losing testosterone at around age 30, and even if your body is making testosterone, there's this protein called SHBG that basically handcuffs your testosterone. Mars Men is designed to help free locked up testosterone so your body can actually use it. And they don't have any synthetics, there's no needles, just 8 natural, clinically dosed ingredients. And Mars Men has a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts from mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off your new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. On the Xfinity mobile call-in line, it's Philly's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor. How you doing, Chuck?
Hey, how's it going? I'm reporting here from a Denver hotel room, and I'm happy to join the show.
In the air? Do you feel really high in the air right now?
So I will say, because I actually took the train in from the airport to Union Station here in Denver, and I had to walk probably about, not a mile, maybe like 0.6 of a mile to get from Union Station to my hotel. And I could feel it.
Yeah.
Like I was struggling. I mean, granted, I was carrying like a backpack and a full thing of luggage, so it wasn't like I was just walking on my own, but it definitely felt more difficult than it usually does walking 0.6 miles.
I've been to Denver like 3 times. First time, no issues with the altitude. Second time, I was like, I'm going to die. Like, it's weird. It's very weird. I was actually talking to Petey about this last night, Charlie. I feel like, you know, at games at Mile High, Nuggets games, I know it gets brought up. Even, you know, just the atmosphere. You can't pitch basically in Coors. But like, we never talk about the altitude issue in like as it pertains to the Avalanche. Does it come up amongst the team? Like, do they ever say like, hey, you know, short shifts, you know, like that sort of thing?
Oh, yeah. And not even that. I can tell you, so a little tidbit that I learned on this trip from chatting with people around the team. So the Flyers normally, after in a road trip, really after any game, they will leave for the next locale the night of the game. the Flyers did not leave Salt Lake City last night. They are traveling. I don't know if they're here in Denver yet, but they were traveling to Denver today. And the reason is that there apparently is significant research, I guess, done by teams, maybe across all the sports leagues, but certainly by hockey teams, that you don't really start feeling serious negative effects from the altitude until like day 2 or day 3 that you're there. So the idea is let's spend as little time as possible there and then get out as quickly as possible so that our players don't have a negative impact, or we minimize the negative impact. And that's why the Flyers didn't come to Denver until this afternoon as opposed to last night.
What they need to do, I was watching the Broncos game last week, and the Patriots had oxygen on the sideline. They just need to get some like oxygen tanks on the bench.
No NHL player would ever want to be seen with an oxygen tank with like a mask on the bench. My God, that would they would retire before they allowed that.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know if NHL teams have the money to like to pay for an oxygen tank that would fit on the bench. NFL teams make a lot more money than NHL teams.
That's also a fair point, Charlie. So I want to talk about a couple of different things that have come up over the last few days. We did a temp check today. Guess who was heating up? Me. I'm still mad about last night's game, but we're going to try to actually talk about the team and different things going on. I'm going to start with that penalty quote from Rick Tocchet that you got the other day when he's talking about potentially benching a guy, sitting him, whatever it might be, if the penalty issues continue. My first question is, who do you think he's talking about?
Matvei Michkov.
Look, the obvious person that he could be talking about is Michkov. And again, like not letting Michkov off the hook. I don't know where he ranks now. I know as recently as yesterday, he ranked tied for 6th in the NHL in most minors taken by anybody.
Tied for 2nd amongst forwards. Yeah.
That's bad. And he shouldn't be taking as many penalties as he's been taking. Like you can't sugarcoat that. Could he be talking about Michkov? Sure. Could be. That said, like, the way, and I talk about this in my article, the way he sort of presented it was that I may have to scratch a really good player. Now, I know we think Michkov's a really good player.
Michkov's
really safe.
I don't know if Rick Tocchet thinks Michkov is a really good player.
He stinks, obviously.
So I don't know if that's who he was talking about. And to be honest, I went back through, obviously not counting last night's game, but I went back through and looked at the previous 7 games. So the 6-game losing streak and then the Vegas game that they won. And, Michkov had taken 2 minor penalties during that stretch, but he wasn't at the top of the list. Travis Konechny was. I almost wonder if this was, a Konechny thing. Konechny's taken a lot. York's taken a lot. Sanheim's taken a few. Like, that's the point I made on this show. I made it after a couple of the games last week. I made it in my column that, like, the problem with the discipline issue, it would be easy if the discipline issue was just Michkov and Barkey and Andre and the kids. Then you're just like, oh, yeah, these dumb kids, they got to be more disciplined. They got to understand game management and timing and things like that and be more careful. Are the kids sometimes taking penalties? Sure. But the vets are taking just as many, if not more. And those are the guys that you want to be like setting the example for the kids. And if Travis Konechny's running around taking dumb stick penalties, like, I don't know. I'm not letting Michkov off the hook, but like, who do you think he's looking at?
No, and that's like, I know I've made a thing a couple of times about Michkov and stick penalties, but like recently, like you showed that graphic, the last 7 games in your article, and I guess it's 8 games now, like, all right, one of the minors he took was a rough. He got the extra penalty for the fight he got in. And then the other one was just that dumb trip or slash or whatever the hell he got called for because he was so far behind the play. I'm convinced he didn't think anyone would see it. So he just hacked the dude on the leg. Like, that was dumb. But, like, the other one was, hey, man, he was sticking up for a teammate and got in a fight. And instead of 17 minutes for the instigator, they gave him a rough, like that happens sometimes. But this was something that came up last night in terms of this team's lack of discipline, whether it's penalties, how they play, whatever it is. Petey was saying, you look at the captain, Sean Couturier, and he's not, at least to our eyes, the yeller and screamer type. But the coach can say whatever he wants. At a certain point, the players have to police themselves. And if you look at a guy like Coots, maybe he's uncomfortable. Like, hey, man, it's been 22 games since he scored. Who's he telling what to do? And you look at a guy who's been in the league forever, like Garnet Hathaway, maybe more of an emotional leader. He has 1 goal on the season. And last night, like, I know there's a lot of blame to go around, but he's very, very high on the top of the list.
Yeah.
Who's he yelling at? Do you think that is kind of a leadership issue? Like those level of veterans aren't producing, so maybe they don't feel comfortable being like, boys, get your S together.
Well, I think for Couturier, it could. That said, like I think he's the type of guy where he'd be willing to talk anyway. Hathaway, on the other hand, like you mentioned, Garner Hathaway. Hathaway's been taking a ton of bad penalties too. Yeah. So for him, I think it might be less about that he's not scoring and more that like he's been taking bad penalties as much as anybody, especially when you account for ice time. Like he doesn't get a ton, and if he's taken 3 penalties over the last 7 games in his ice time, like that might be the highest penalty per 60 rate on the team. Very well could be the highest bad penalty per 60 rate on the team. And when you know you're one of the ones screwing up like that, yeah, it probably is harder for you to point the finger at somebody else. It's like, hey, dude, like you got baited into a penalty at the end of a period by a 20-year-old. Like, shut up and get off my case.
Yeah, and that I think that's all kind of part of the problem. Like, I guess Sanheim, but I don't know if he's like he's going to call anybody out. I expect TK, but like you just said, TK has been a part of it. I think he's second on the team in penalties in these last 7 or 8 games.
But so this is a really young team, right? And we've talked about, like, we make Shoresy jokes about how the young kids are like softer than players used to be. And I don't know if like having a Chris Pronger guy yelling in your face after you had a crappy game, like, is that what motivates today's 22-year-olds? I don't know.
I feel like Sidney Crosby and Nathan MacKinnon get a lot out of their teammates.
Do you think Sidney Crosby doesn't seem like a yeller?
I don't. I think it's just more stern. Yeah. Like just like I
just feel like
you're not getting back on the ice, pal. I run this team.
Those guys seem more like lead by example guys. I mean, McKinnon's crazy with the diet and stuff, and I'm sure he yells at people whenever he sees them like eating carbs or whatever. But I don't know. Like neither one of them strike me as like a like yelling guy. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point is that, like, I do think those guys more than anything are lead by example guys. Yeah. And I think the biggest problem with this discipline issue at the moment is that the lead by example guys aren't leading by example. Right. They're setting a bad example, which is why I think Tocchet basically said, like, look, I might have to scratch some dudes. And it might be dudes you don't want scratch. And like, look, might he scratch Michkov? Yeah, because maybe Tocchet just wants to scratch Michkov. I don't know. But to me, like... To me, scratching Michkov doesn't send a real message because if you want, let me put it this way. You got a problem with discipline right now where teams taking too many penalties, okay? And you want to make a point about the importance of accountability. I don't think scratching Michkov really sends that big of a point. He's already being held accountable. He led the team in goals last year, and he's getting 14 minutes a night if he's lucky. Like he's already being held accountable. If you want it, like to me, if he gets scratched, the guys on the team are just gonna be like, okay, yeah, he scratched the guy he already isn't that happy with. Big whoop. Like if you want to send an accountability bomb into that room, like you scratch a Konechny, you scratch a Sanheim, you scratch a York. Like that's how you do it if you really want to go to that well, because I don't know what kind of message. I mean, it sends a message. I just don't think it sends that big of a message because he's already being held accountable. Like it's kind of like the scene in the movie The Rock when the guy's dead and then his body's like twitching and Nicolas Cage says to Sean Connery, like, can you do something about that? And Sean Connery's like, well, what do you want me to do? Shoot him again? Like, that's sort of the way I look at it. Like, I don't know, like you're already holding him accountable. You want to hold him more accountable? You're kind of reached your limit here.
All right, Chuck. There was something I wanted to get into last night, and I was just mad, so I didn't. But I do want to know, like, the tone and tenor of the team right now. Like, for a brief moment last night, we thought TK had overtaken Zegras for the total points lead on the team, but then 1 assist gets taken away, and Zegras has a couple of assists, so now he has a 2-point lead on TK. Do you get the sense there's like an internal competition for this? Like, you know, Konechny's kind of been unchallenged in this like leading scorer thing the last few years. You know, Michkov had the goals, but total points, like he had 50 freaking assists last year, did TK. Do you think this is like an internal competition between the two right now?
I don't think so because I think they really like each other. I think, you know, they're all in that crew. I think like I'm sure Zegras cares about how many points he's getting. I'm sure Konechny cares about how many points they're getting, and maybe they rag on each other a little bit because that's just what you do in a locker room. But no, I don't think there's like a major competition, in large part because, And I always get some pushback on this when I say it, but I'm just reporting what the room believes. Like, everyone in that room thinks Travis Konechny is the best player on the team. They say it in passing, like, not as if it's like, well, yeah, like, who's the best player in the room? Travis. Who's the best player on the team? Travis Konechny. It's just like they say it when you're interviewing them as if like it's an assumed fact. You know how, like, well, like, functionally, like, well, yeah, obviously the sky's blue, and then you go and do another thing about, like, and then there was that plane up there in front of the blue sky. Like, that's the way they talk about it, when they're talking about Travis Konechny. So I don't think there's much of a competition, because everyone in that room already believes that Travis Konechny is the best player on the team, and Trevor Zegras finishing with 1 more or 2 more points this season isn't going to change their view of that.
Yeah, I was just curious. I had so many fun things to talk about last night, Chuck, but that game, like, for me mentally, was such a turning point for this team. I found it very important. And then, they're up 3-0, 21 minutes into the game, and somehow lose 5-4. I'll never understand how that happened, but we move on, I suppose. But do you think how did the locker room respond to what happened last night? Like, I asked you about Tockett's demeanor, but the boys in the room, like, what were they feeling last night?
Yeah, I mean, they were down, obviously. They knew they blew the game. And, I noted, I don't know if I said it on the show, I certainly said it on Twitter, like Garnet Hathaway, like, give them all the grief you want, but I mean, that dude was utterly devastated, and you could tell, like, he's not. And I saw some people on Twitter being like, oh yeah, he's the crocodile tears. Like, no, you could tell this dude was sincerely beating himself up. Now, he should have. It was a really, really bad mistake, but it's not like he doesn't care. I mean, he knows he messed up and he feels awful. And when we asked players in the room about it, they're like, look, we all love Garnett. He knows he made a mistake. We'll pat him on the back, but no one's gonna, like, start screaming at him for missing the empty net. He knows. We all know. We don't need to relive it. How did the team react? Like, I guess we'll find out tomorrow when they play in Colorado, because that's a game where, on paper, they not only should lose that game, they should probably lose it by a lot. And if they come out and they jump out to a 2-0 lead, then they responded well to it. If they come out and they're down 3-0 by the end of the first 10 minutes, which, like, against the Avalanche is always a very real possibility, then maybe they let it seep into their heads. But I didn't notice anything terribly noteworthy. Like, they were ticked off because they lost a game they should have won, and that's really about it.
All right. Just one more real quick for you, Chuck. We talked, maybe you reported a couple of days ago that it was a possibility Vladar is back for Friday against the Avs. Do you think that's a possibility?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't think it's a certainty by any means, but yeah, I had that in my post-practice notes. Based on the people I've talked to over the last few days, there is a real possibility that Vladar could be back tomorrow against the Avs. If he's not back tomorrow, they're feeling pretty good about his ability to be back on Monday for the game back home against the Islanders, but he's been skating. He's been practicing, not in full. Tomorrow he'll have a morning skate. They didn't practice today because, again, they stayed overnight in Salt Lake, and they didn't practice in Salt Lake before they left, so no practice today. We'll obviously get a better read at morning skate. I'll be intrigued to see if he skates with the entire group. If he doesn't, he almost certainly will not play. But because they didn't practice today, it'll be a full, like, it won't be an optional. So it'll be as close to a full practice as you're going to get out of a morning skate. Yeah, from what I heard, Vladar wanted to come back yesterday. And the Flyers had to be like, nah, dude, we're giving you a few extra days. Like, you haven't really had a full practice yet. So I think it's possible. And the fact that Ersson, well, I don't think he was bad last night, certainly didn't replicate his showing against Vegas, probably makes it a little bit easier for it to be like, all right, Sam, we're going back with the clear number one. They're not going to rush him, though. And number one, they don't want him to re-injure the thing. Number two, they don't want to put his Olympics in jeopardy, because obviously that's going to be a big thing for him playing for Team Czechia.
Colorado leads the league. They average 35 shots a game. Maybe wait. Maybe wait. Not just my thought, but who knows?
Probably gonna lose anyway.
You know what? My demeanor would change so much if they win this game. I am rooting so hard I called it basically the 1980 miracle earlier, Charlie. Like, that's to me what this Friday game would be in terms of, like, level of upset. But all right, that's it. I don't really have anything else for you. We got to hit this last break. Charlie O'Connor joining us on the Xfinity Mobile call-in line. We will talk post-game tomorrow, Chuck.
Bye, Charlie.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Bye, Kelly. Bye, Bill.
All right, and with that, we got to take our final break. You've got to channel the fresh start energy of the new year and finally launch your business with Shopify. 2026 is the year you rewrite your story, own your future, and make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Start your business with Shopify in 2026 and become who you're meant to be. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made this leap, from household names to first-time business owners just getting started. Shopify gives you all the tools to easily build your dream store. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand, and marketing is built in too. Create email and social campaigns that reach customers whenever they scroll. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. Go to shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. Philly sports fans, you gotta listen up, because it is the season of gifting, and if you're looking for something truly unforgettable this year, I've got the perfect gift idea. You've got to check out the incredible work from Philadelphia sports artist Jordan Spector over at SpectorSportsArt.com. I personally own a few of his pieces myself, and trust me, these aren't just posters you hang on the wall. These are museum-level artworks of the greatest moments and icon in Philly sports history. His collections come in prints, canvases, and even athlete-partnered trading cards. And get this, one of the newest cards actually includes a piece of Brandon Graham's real game-worn jersey from that matchup in New Orleans. You know, that big one against Kansas City. It doesn't get any more authentic than that. So if you've got a diehard sports fan in your life, or you just want to treat yourself, this is the kind of gift they'll talk about forever. So head over right now to SpectorSportsArt.com. That's SpectorSportsArt.com, and grab something epic for the Philly fan in your life. All right, we have a couple things to get to before we give away the Carnival tickets. The first of which is the big takeaway presented by Xfinity. And today our big takeaway is a mailbag question from Heavy Edit. It says, which rebuilding team is doing it best? Chicago, Anaheim, the Flyers, Buffalo, or San Jose? And then, if Michkov tells Danny, me or Tocchet, who does Danny select? Not who should he select? That second part, like, I just don't see it happening. Players don't do that.
No. But as a hypothetical question, I think it's interesting, because I do think, obviously, what he should do is choose the player. Because as you've said 1,000 times, you're going to fire this coach anyway. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you might as well stick with the talented player. However, what he would do, I think, would be like, all right, then F off, because I don't like that attitude. And then they would trade him and keep Tocchet for another 2 years and then fire him.
I just don't
think it would actually happen. I'm just saying, as a hypothetical thought exercise, I don't think it would ever actually happen.
To the point about the rebuild, which team is doing it best? My first question is, does Buffalo count as rebuilding?
No.
I think, what was it, 2014 or 2015? They drafted Jack Eichel.
15, you looked it up.
2015, like 11 years ago. Darlene was 2018. Like,
nah.
I just don't see this as a rebuild.
No, they just stink. That's the difference.
2021, I think that was the Owen Power first overall. But since then, they've drafted 9th, 13th, 14th, and 9th. Like, they're not really shipping anybody out.
No.
Like, they made a hockey trade to get Doan and Kesselring. Like, that was actually a 2-for-1. Like, they got 2 guys back, and they just extended Doan for 7 years. They're just kind of a mediocre team. Like, I don't see them as rebuilding. Like, all the dudes they drafted high are like in their prime now, you know?
There doesn't seem to be any direction or strategy or whatever. The team's just a disaster.
It's just like, we're going to try to make the playoffs.
They're just bad.
Bunch of dudes we have, and maybe we will for the first time since 2011.
You won't.
San Jose, they have the #1 guy, and that's huge. But they're in 5th place in like a not great Pacific. I know we keep saying like the West is so much better in the East.
Yeah.
But really the West just has like a few awesome teams. And I'm going to put Vegas in there, even though they're like 500 win-loss.
Sure.
They've really turned it on of late. I'll put them in there. But it's really the 3 teams at the top of the Central and Vegas. And then like in the Pacific, the Ducks have won 5 straight. But before that, they were 2-11-2.
Yeah.
Like in their previous 15 games.
No, I think they still have a lot
and
of
now
work
they're
to do.
3rd in the Pacific. They're like a -11 goal differential. The Pacific is no good too. So like San Jose, it's going to be a little while. I know like they could make the playoffs this year, but they're not actually good.
No.
They just have one awesome guy.
That's the thing. Like, I think it's easy to look at them because they have Celebrini and think like, oh, well, they're doing it better than the Flyers. And like maybe in the end they will end up, but they still got a lot of holes to fill before you can say that.
They have the most important thing, but it's going to be a little while before they get everything else.
Exactly.
The Ducks, I think the Ducks are the answer to this question.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Unfortunately.
Right now, I don't think they're very good. Like even though they're third in the division, like I just think the Pacific stinks.
Yeah.
But they have the pieces, and now it's just waiting for them all to mature and then figure out what you need from there. I think they're the answer. Like Chicago, kind of the same as San Jose. Like they've got Bedard, very important. They have the most important thing. But then their next 3 leading scorers are in their 30s.
Yeah.
And Bedard just missed a month, and he's still their leading scorer. It just feels like it's going to be a while for them. And then there's the Flyers, where it just seems all so hypothetical still. Like there's just no way to know where it's going because we don't know what Luchanko and Nesbitt or Bonk are going to be in the NHL. We don't know how good Martone's going to be. We have our fingers crossed. Is Michkov the number 1? And if not, who is? Like, where does this 1C and 1D come from? They're a lot closer to Chicago and San Jose than they are the Ducks, but it's clearly a much different plan. So it's like hard for me to compare, but I would say the Ducks are the answer. Who's doing it best?
Yeah, which is very annoying.
It's annoying. Absolutely. We have some other stuff to get to with that question, but we are up against it. So let's give away some Flyers Charities Carnival tickets. And I know a lot of people have been hoping for me to say this, but this is a different context, so I will. Brenna, spin that wheel. This is for a pair. We're going to give away, again, 5 pairs of general admission tickets to the Flyers Charities Carnival.
Bunch of numbers.
And the very first winner is SG Bunch of Numbers. Congratulations, SG. I will forward you your tickets at some point today, probably. All right, for the second pair, we have the winner is Shelly Dorn. I am just waiting for one of these names to be wildly inappropriate. But Shelly Dorn wins the second pair. We have 3 more to give away to the Carnival on February 1st. It's a Sunday, right?
Yeah.
We've decided it's a Sunday. All right. Beth Howard is our
the ladies
third
winning today.
winner.
Let's go.
Let's see. We just like went over a bunch of numbers, and Jamie told us we have a 99% male viewer and listenership.
Yeah.
But it does appear as if some women are winning this, so
I'm not
they
going to
exist.
I'm not
we
going
have
to
at
take
least like
credit
4
for it.
women viewers. My wife watches sometimes. My mom watches sometimes.
Mario
All right,
Romano.
Mario Romano is our 4th winner, and finally our 5th winner is dead air. Love it. All right, Chris Edwards is our final winner.
You love to see it.
So those are all of our general admission tickets. Tomorrow on Postgame, we will give away our 3 grand prizes.
Yo.
A sign and snap with Cam York, a sign and snap with Travis Sanheim, and a sign and snap with Christian Dvorak.
Funsies.
So those will be, we will give those away tomorrow on Postgame after the Avs game. Let's get to Super Chats. All right, first one here is from Harry Balzaski, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
At what point is it time to spin the wheel? Not yet.
Not yet.
It's not yet time to spin the wheel. We did just get our wheel
it.
spin done with the giveaway, but it is not time for Tankathon yet.
No.
Maybe soon. After the Olympics. We have to wait till after the Olympics, maybe after the trade deadline.
I was going to say, we got to get to the deadline.
All right, another one here from Harry. Says, at what point is it time for the Tankathon?
Harry, you paid for the same
After the
question
Olympics.
twice, bud.
After the Olympics, Harry. I know we all want to get there, but let's just give it
rush
a
perfection.
few. Let's give it a few more games. They have like what, 7 till the break?
Too many.
Yeah. All right. And before we get to JE's question, it's time to go to overtime. Head to allphly.com to continue watching. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
All right. From JE Frucione, he says, help me out with RT's logic.
I guess that's Ricky Tacos.
Rick Tacos logic, I guess. We are developing players for roles, number 9 on the power play. But at 4-3, we keep players key to our future, number 39, on the bench while playing the 4th line. Bet Michkov nets that one. Yeah, I have had...
Many people are saying...
Ever since they had he gave the quote about, well, we're developing Drysdale in that role. It's like, but he's bad at it. Why are we doing it? Like, we can't have Michkov on the ice to develop in certain situations, but like the 2 assists that Drysdale and both secondaries got on the power play last night are like his 12th and 13th power play points since he's been here. I don't know.
That's what's most frustrating to me is it's not just what he's doing with Michkov, is that there seems to be a standard for Michkov that does not apply to anybody else on this team. And I don't like it.
We'll see if he follows through on benching someone not named Matvei if the penalties continue. All right. And this last one here from Purple Crayon. How different is this game if D'Lo is in the lineup to handle business after that O'Brien hit?
No different.
I mean, I don't know. They did take over after that hit, but like, does the fight change that? Because they're still losing, and you're giving them that fight that, like,
do they still?
I guess maybe you're trying to take back momentum. I don't know.
I mean, if they still do the dumb stuff that cost them the game, then no.
Yeah, like I don't know if D'Lo beating up Liam O'Brien like makes Garnet Hathaway shoot the puck faster.
Right, exactly. Or like, makes Travis Sanheim not get wheeled.
Yeah, like Konechny and Sanheim combined for like one of the worst turnovers of the season. I don't know if if D'Lo has an effect on that. I would have liked to see it, but also like I don't know if that hit was bad. I think it could have been. Like, he could have caught him in the head, but like I don't know if there was any head contact. I don't know if it was dirty. Like, he tried, but I think he failed.
Yeah, I don't think he got it. I think I think you're right. I think he was trying, but he didn't.
He could have knocked him out, but I think like Tippett kind of bailed out of there and then like just kind of lost his balance after that.
Right. That was definitely one of those hits where like if Tippett had fallen down and stayed down on the ice, he probably would have gotten 5.
Yeah. But like I remember a few years ago, Jake Voracek like bailed and like it looked like he got hit in the face and they called the penalty and he's like, no, because he didn't want the fine. He didn't want to get the like, oh, he's a diver, he's an embellisher or whatever. So he was like, no, he didn't get me. And like, I almost expected that. Like, it kind of felt like that last night. Like, he didn't actually get him.
Not everyone has the integrity of Jake Voracek.
He just didn't want to get fined or be on the list of divers.
I'm just here.
Like, that's really what it was about, I think.
Yeah.
All right. That is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, you got to hit that subscribe button. Follow us right here on the PHLY Sports YouTube page. We'll be back tomorrow with pre and post game before and after the Avs game. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers and follow the podcast wherever you get those. And before we wrap up, Kelly?
I just wanted to thank the Flyers organization and Kate and Lauren specifically for sending my niece a box of fun, gritty stuff. That was really nice. Made her very happy.
All right, that is it for today. I am Bill Matz. That is Kelly Hinkle. Awesome job as always. Brenna, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.